Michigan bicycle trip was turning out to be every bit an adventure that I thought it was going to be.
Grandpa, please tell a story.
Oh, that was good. That was so good. Okay, are you ready? Take a seat. Welcome to Grandpa Hill's True Story. They're always true, aren't they?
Not always.
Oh, yes, they are. They're as good as I can remember them.
Most of the time.
So now it was day 6, and this is the last episode of the Great Michigan Bicycle Trip. We had just seen a chariot race, and we were westbound on MARION Road. From there, we would go on to Michigan 115 on our way to Cadillac. And we pedaled all the way the same route that we had hitchhiked. We pedaled to Cadillac, and we went up north of Cadillac, and then we started to go over to this little town of Harrietta. And we found this nice farmhouse, and we were so hungry again that we went to the farmhouse, and we looking for food. And we went into the hen house. We didn't eat the chickens, but we found the eggs. And we cooked the eggs. All the eggs we could find, which weren't that many. I think maybe a half a dozen or maybe 7 or so.
You stole their eggs.
Yes, we did.
You got accused.
No, I confessed. It was my aunt's house.
Ah.
My Aunt Margaret. And she had a daughter named Margaret. We called her Margie. And she was a delightful cousin. One of my favorites. And I don't know if we had an opportunity. We might have had an opportunity to go swimming that day. I don't know. No, that was a different visit that we were on. But on that particular day, they did get home, and my Aunt Margaret let us all sleep inside upstairs. And it was so nice to be on a nice.
That was the first time you ever
I slept inside for a week. Yeah, this is day 6. End of day 6. And she fed us a lot of food when we got up, and then fed us a lot of food before we went to bed. And we were just so happy when we left there. I mean, happy to have been there. So then we have to make it. The next day, day 7, there were 2 nice things that happened, but one was food. Because we stopped, like, you guys like to go to, like, IHOP, for pancakes and stuff.
Yeah.
We had each of us just had one waffle. It was like a Waffle House or an old IHOP. It was the old one that's like shaped like a triangle or something. It's really old. Back then. Because you're talking about like in the 1970s. So we stopped to get the pancake. We each get one pancake. And we walk out of there so full. Because they served us condiments. Condiments is those things that you add to the pancakes. So they would bring out a tray, and it had like about 8 jars. Marmalade and syrup, honey. And then in the center of that tray, there were 4 stacks of all those jelly and honey and peanut butter in the little packages. So when we were done, we each had our waffle, and every single jar was completely empty. And every single packet was completely empty.
Was they mad?
No, I think they were happy to have fed us. Maybe a little bit mad, because we didn't leave much of a tip. We didn't have any money. We paid for our waffle, and we really, I guess you would say, we didn't pay for our condiments, but we had a lot of condiments. That gave us enough sugar, and we kept going. That day, towards the end of the day, we got to my friend Bill's. No, I'm still on day 7. I don't have. Day 6 was just getting to Harrietta. And then day 7 was going to Bill's grandparents. Bill Lecuru's, my friend's grandparents, was our final destination. and I think that name is Okenama, Michigan, was the town. But it's not much of a town. And Grandma and Grandpa there lived in a trailer. And so Bill and all four boys were in one little room in the back of like a house trailer. That was like their vacation home that they moved up to. When they lived up on the west side of Michigan.
I thought you meant like a trailer that the horse.
No, not a horse trailer. Just a regular house trailer. So
it's a house.
One of the things that happened when we were there, though, is that we're in this trailer, and we are so happy we had gone 250 miles. That'd be like let's say we went on a trip to go see Sister Margaret or Sister Teresa Paul, and you ride in the car all day. That's what it would be like, except we did it on bicycles in 7 days. Our longest day was the day that we went to the barn where I had my hair done up the next morning. That was an 86-mile ride that day. 86 miles. We went from North Branch. He got cut. We went to Vassar. All that stuff happened on one day, 86 miles. Now, one of the things that happened when we're there, of course, is that we're out of money, and we needed to get money. We needed jobs because there's no way we were going to get home. So we had we didn't have any money.
Because you're going to encounter the fire department. What about the car?
No, we didn't have a car to go home in.
Your aunt's car?
No, my aunt's not going to make a trip down south. No. Now, Grandma and Grandpa Lecuru, maybe they could have taken us. But are they really going to take us anywhere? I mean, they're up there living. I want to tell you about the unusual job we got.
What?
We got to pick something up off of the vine. What do you think we picked?
Grapes.
No, strawberries. We picked strawberries, and then we ate strawberries, and then we picked strawberries, and we ate strawberries. We did that all day long. We were full of strawberries. We were turning as red as a strawberry. We really had a lot of strawberries. But we also picked a lot of strawberries. We worked hard all day. And then we each had more than $10 to travel after that. So
Why?
Because we got paid to pick them. We got paid to pick them, not the ones we ate. They pay you based on what you brought them at the end of the day. And we were picking right alongside of other people from Mexico that were migrant pickers. So it's the first time I ever had a migrant picking job. And I was a migrant. I came from another part of the state, and I needed the money, and so I picked. And I picked, and I picked, and I picked.
And you ate half of what you picked.
Yeah, some estimates might say that about half. Yeah. So
you could have got double the amount of money if Dad ate and you 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 ate strawberries.
Right.
And more strawberries.
So then a very unfortunate thing happened. And
how did you get home?
My friend Bill couldn't go home.
Why?
Mostly because he was so mad and frustrated with the behavior of Bill Fisher and Dean. And he was out of money. In other words, he wasn't having any fun at all. So he had an offer to stay with his grandparents for a few weeks. So he did that. And he came home with them later. And they brought the bike home. So he was so frustrated and mad. Now, coming home, I'm going to cover it really quick because I don't know how many days it took. But I'm going to say about 5 or 4.
On bike again?
Yeah, we have we have 250 miles there. So maybe it was 6 days to come back. But 6 times 4 would be 240. So maybe it was only about 4 days. Because we didn't have any big things go wrong with us. On the way home, remember I said that Bill Lecuru didn't make the trip. So I'm with these 2 boys that I'm not getting along with very well. All right. And I do remember that one of the days I slept underneath the picnic table. So I didn't want to sleep with the other 2 boys in the one tent that we had. And I remember happening maybe the fourth day. We were coming along the road, and we're on maybe Michigan 24. And I'm pedaling. I'm a little bit ahead of the other two boys. We're pedaling along. I'm pedaling by myself. And this thing happened, and this was terrible. This was one of the scariest moments for me because I didn't realize how mean people really could be. This was more mean than the other things that went on. Because this mean,
The boys?
yeah, way more mean.
Really?
Because this came from a grown man that should know better. So this grown man, there's two men in a pickup truck. They're coming up alongside of me. I can see them. I have mirrors on my bike. I can see them coming up. So I'm staying nice and straight on my line. They pull up, and they're right about here where I can see their door handle on the truck.
And they turn it on.
And when they get up right there, that door opens up. And the man has in his hand chains. And he takes the chain and he whips it on me. He doesn't hit me, he hits the bike the first time. And then he takes the chain again, and I start to pull away, and he just hits me a little bit. But I had no idea, and he could have just opened the door a little further and he could just knock me right over too. But I had no idea that anyone would ever do that. And why? And then he just pulled away as though nothing had happened. He wasn't out to actually do anything, but it really scared me. It hurt a little. So one of the other things I did something mean. Isn't that terrible if you start to do things mean? Did I do things mean because someone did something mean to me? No. I was fighting the way brothers fight sometimes. Do you guys ever fight?
Yeah, but what do you do?
And we all had agreed that but that we would get going early considering how long of a trip it was. So it was like 9 in the morning. That's not really early, okay? But I wanted to get going early because it was going to be so hot. And I wanted my pedaling to be in the early part of the day, and then we can take it easy and get the shade and finish when the shade comes back, yes. So they didn't want to get up at 9 o'clock in the morning.
9 o'clock in the morning is late.
So I dumped water on them. And they got out of the tent. And they had a wet tent, wet clothes, and they were very mad. And there were two of them, and they wanted to hurt me. But their tent was still up. And their stuff was all scattered. And I was all packed up, and I was on my bicycle headed home.
But you let them do.
I let them catch up. Eventually. Many miles down the way. But we weren't talking very much, and they knew we were real upset. So we're staying together a little bit. And then the last thing I can remember looking back at them at the end of that last day, as I'm just a couple miles from home, we don't even have any energy to be furious anymore. We're all hot. Okay, remember, I'm aching. I'm aching because my skin is red. And my skin is red because it's sunburned. Even with suntan lotion on and everything else, I'm all burnt. And I'm running out of energy, right? If you touch my body, you can feel the heat. Okay, hot body. And I felt like I was really in trouble. And then I looked back at Bill Fisher. And he had done what I had told him not to do. But he didn't want to listen to me. And that's something that you guys can... He took his shirt off. He pedaled in that hot sun without his shirt off. And now his hat was off. So now his face is blistered. His shoulders are blistered. Big, huge blisters. He's all blistered up. I don't even know if he's going to be healthy enough to get home. That's last 10 miles.
We have to get a doctor.
Yes, he has to get a doctor. But those last 10 miles, and I don't know if he did get a doctor or not, because that's the next thing that happened, is that I never talked to Bill Fisher and Dean again. I stayed friends with Bill Lecuru, but these other two boys, we never got along. You'd think we'd just gone on this great adventure and all these things that happened to us, that it should make us feel like we have
Most of them were bad.
There were good things that happened too, but you wanted to hear the bad ones. You didn't want to hear the good things, right? Wasn't it nice that when the police officer gave us, let us into town and got us a nice place to stay? That was a good thing. And when the girls did my hair, that was a good thing.
Really? Was it a good thing?
Yeah. A lot of people were friendly. My aunt let us sleep inside. Wasn't that good?
And that was the only person in the wedding.
Oh, and Bill's grandma and grandpa, they fed us. And we went out and picked all those strawberries. Those were good things.
All the blueberries.
But part of telling the story is that we would be what? We would be growing up some. We'd learn some things. Boy, we learned some lessons about maybe the way people would treat each
I
other.
don't know.
It doesn't mean everybody treats everybody that way.
And you learned the lesson that you need to bring food and more than.
Oh, yeah, being prepared. Oh, I'm always prepared now. When I go hiking, do you ever see me asking people for food? No, I always have food, and I'm always.
I'm sometimes you a little bit for food.
I'm ready to share it. Yeah. So that's the Great Michigan Bicycle Trip.
The end.
Are you ready to go on a trip? No?
Yeah, no.
You could go on a great Slickville trip. We could actually plan something where we pedal down the Salzburg Trail like 20 miles and get a place to, figure out a place to camp and then come back the next day.
I think it would be better if you. That trip discouraged me.
Really?
Yes, too many bad.
But you go on the hiking trips. Have you ever had anything bad happen on the hiking trip?
Not a lot.
Oh, come on. Well, maybe not to you. I never I remember Uncle Thaddeus got hurt in his back. One time we had to cut a hike short. Aunt Patricia messed up her ankle one time.
I saw it.
Your mom got stung by bees one time. There's lots of.
Before I was born.
Oh, okay, but a lot of things happen. Just because bad things happen doesn't mean it's not a good thing to do.